Okay, hello. Okay. Now we got it. Now we got it. Hello and welcome to my live. Right now I am playing Baseball Stars on the old NES. Um, Let me see here. See what I got. Okay. Um, this is a whole new setup for me as far as the studio that I'm using, the software that I'm using. So just now, I have unclicked the microphone a few times and then clicked it, and then a few other times I've unclicked it and clicked it back, and it's given me some issues. So finally, I kind of know kind of the way to do it. Hello and welcome. My name is I go by a couple different monikers. I am Gary Overson on Facebook. If you see me on there, that's me. I am also A.Fro.2GO.Reviews on Facebook and on A.Fro.2GO.Reviews on Facebook and YouTube, and then Fro.2Go Gaming on Twitch. So those are the three different places that you will find me right now. Currently, what we're playing is we've got I play Baseball Stars, Tetris, old school on NES, the NES system, and then I also play Destiny 2 on Steam. Oh, it's 2 outs already on Steam. 15-0 right now in the fourth inning. I should finish this one out in the bottom of the fourth, even if. Ooh, that's just tough when those things bleed through like that. Anyway, basically, what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going through. I have a little tournament set up for the different. Ooh, we got them. The different teams that I play against in this tournament in this league, and it builds up your players as much as you play them. The team itself gets money. And then you could use that money to make your players a little bit better. Oh, is he going to get thrown out to end the game? Yes, he is. Okay, that ends that one. So good final ending to that. Gave up a couple hits. All right, so I know we're not supposed to really start in the middle of a game, and that kind of was anticlimactic there, but let me get this all set up. Okay, so thank you for joining me. Below me, right here on the screen, you'll see some of the inspirations that I've had over the years. Some of those individuals or people or couples or duos or teams that have really influenced me over the years. There have been some more influential at Crossroads than other times. Okay, hold on just a second. Okay. I am back. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if there's any. Okay, so we could power up Matt Williams. Won't do that yet. Let's get Mays up to his level that he should be. Okay. So Mays is close. A couple more games and we'll be set. All right. So first and foremost, I did want to give you all a heads up on kind of what's been going on. I am looking forward to in the very near future, doing more in the A.Fro.2.GO Reviews side of things. Right now, there has been a couple of different things that have gone on that have caused there to be just a little bit of delays in those things. If you're not aware, I personally have written a couple songs over the last couple of months, and that has taken up a good, bulk of my time, perfecting and trying to hone in on that craft. Never going to be perfected, never once had delusions of grandeur, but it's a lot of fun. And if I could do anything these days that's a hobby that is fun and is time consuming, and not only time consuming but takes up mental space, that obviously takes the mind off of other things, then I'm all for anybody finding that. And I'll say that growing up, I always gravitated towards singers. I was in choir all the way through 8th grade. And then my time had to be allotted a little bit differently when I got into high school. But I was always someone who really respected the those that massage their voices on a daily basis, like that are just always doing gymnastics with their voices. It's the same thing as what we're watching now with the Olympics. It's training. It's going, your vocal cords are very, very sensitive. Let's just go ahead and say. I mean, you just go to any kind of sporting event and scream for a little while, or a concert. You are going to see. I didn't even realize I didn't make an out until the picture. You just don't see how a singer, I mean, when you do that, you can see, man, wow, that's just amazing to be able to do that. And so, that's one of the things that I've always had as kind of a deep respect for, is anybody who is able to sing for a living or sing as a passion. It's a great thing to see. Man, he's gonna get the sack fly, but in this books, I don't think it counts as a sack fly. I don't think that Baseball Stars counts it as a sack fly, but I could be wrong, but I don't think they do. See if Posey can put this away. Oh man, just a little low. So that ends the inning at 9-0. I'm gonna have to go one more inning now. Oh man, I forgot my shortstop. I do need to do something with. That's definitely something that I need to fix. Oh, going and a late throw, and still Posey decided on a delayed throw, not a delayed steal, but a delayed throw. Got him. Or got her. This is the lovely ladies. If you haven't seen the Baseball Stars game before, this is the team that would be one that in this game gains the most prestige, I guess you would say, the most money to play against. So the American Dreams are the second team as far as prestige goes. The ladies are a decent team. They're not good play. They have some good defense here and there. They have a couple decent hitters. But yep, there's one. Oh yeah. Okay, 10-0. So all I need to do now is in the bottom half of the inning, put them away, and then this game's over. This is a 10-run rule in any inning. This doesn't have a oh, that's gone. This doesn't have a mercy rule after a certain amount of innings. If I had scored 10 in the first inning and then got 3 outs, it would have been over. So some of these games could be really quick. So that's the good thing about this too. It's not as long and boring for some people to watch a baseball game. Okay, there we go. So we're at 11-0. Okay. And today, I did want to get kind of an update also on a couple of topics that have come up recently, and this is on me. This is me, and you personally may have a slightly different perspective than I do on this, and if you do, I respect that as well. But at the same time, as I've stated in the past, everybody's opinion is equal in terms of for their own personal reviewing process, I guess you would say. Everybody is should be, but where you get your sourced information from, where you get that opinion, where it derives from, it should in some way be known. Not to say that you have to come and say this came from this or this came from that. More so, if you have an opinion about something and it is in any way controversial to 100% of the people around you, do you continue down that path or do you rethink it? All I'm saying is do you rethink it? I'm not saying you change your mind. I'm saying, do you give yourself the opportunity to rethink it? That would be my question. Again, that doesn't mean that the rethinking leads to you changing your mind. It just means that the rethinking led to... I'm going to have to change a couple of these individuals. The rethinking led to, not, just kind of the ability. I'm just asking, do you ever, does anybody who sees, and I might be not speaking to anybody who's on here or who even watches this, but does anybody who has an opinion about something... I gotta fire this guy. Okay. Okay. My question would be, does anybody out there have an opinion about something that's extreme? And then not too long after that, they have an epiphany. Oh, I got a 84 right away. That's good. Have an epiphany about something, or be made aware of some information that they possibly didn't have before, and allow themselves to, I guess you would say, get caught up in that. I don't know if it's getting caught up in that. I guess it's coming to a greater understanding of what they believed before. Okay, right? I would say that is that to me right now seems to be one of the hardest things for people to do, given the fact that a lot of us at this age, in my mid-40s, believe that we've lived it and that our position on things is pretty rooted. Are we gonna let Rook play? I gotta change the shortstop. The shortstop's killing me. I'm gonna put in. I didn't look again. Oh, Mays has been sitting on the bench. We're gonna have to put Mays at shortstop for now, because I know he could play defense because I just changed his stuff around. So let's move to shortstop. Let's do that. Let's move to shortstop. Put Mays where he's supposed to be. And let's lead Mays off. Okay. All right. So let's start this one up. This is going to be a good game. The American Dreams, as has been stated, is the probably would be considered the second best team in the league behind me right now. Even though I have more holes than their team does, my ability to be a human being and not a robot is my advantage, because I know where the pitch is usually going. I played this game a lot, and I kind of know their tendencies. Here's the Rook, the one we just picked up, the one we just hired. And he grounds out to Jax at short. So getting back to kind of what I was speaking of before, we as 40, 45, even, late 30s, we believe that our ways, and that's a terrible swing, our ways are kind of set. I think that a lot of us believe that, when it comes to living our lives, we kind of know who we are, and we don't really want anybody fussing with that, messing around with, what we have set up, what we planned for ourselves. The only thing is that we are not in any way, shape, or form fully in tune, I guess you would say, with the truth at all times. Obviously, we do have our periods of truth that we get, and we do a good job of deciphering it, and good for us. But as a group, as a collective, knowing right from wrong and good from bad and things like that, I know that this age and this generation likes to say in some ways that we put the next generation down a little bit because they're unknowing. Well, of course they're unknowing, because they haven't lived our lives. They haven't lived like us. They haven't lived in that time frame that we did. So they're never going to be as in tune with those things. Try to get, somebody who's younger to, that's a good play, to understand the difference between knowing things instantly because of a Google search, and having to remember something over the course of a 3-day period so that you can tell it to somebody else, or a joke or something like that, or having access to a video immediately. These are things that you can convey to somebody immediately, right now. It's not that you have a video back at home that you're able to go back to and say, hey, look, check, this is what I was telling you about last week. You could actually send them a link to the video on YouTube and show them immediately. It's a different world. Completely different world. And when we are negative towards the next generation, and we're in some ways putting them in their place for not knowing, it's not going to progress us in the proper manner. Oh man, that we should as human beings strive for, like each one of us being knowing, understanding, and more importantly, given a chance to live, given a chance to experience, and not be told that their way is wrong because it's not the same. The next generation that comes should be given our boost, not our grief and our that we're ashamed in some way. Because I think that little by little, we are losing, in some ways, we are losing that focus that we had at one time, that we watched in movies growing up in the 80s, that being somewhat defiant against people who are trying their best to siphon out any kind of what is seen in these movies and in these stories that we read as siphoning change, like stopping any kind of progression moving forward. And these siphoners of change, these people who don't want to see any kind of change in the right manner, they're the type of people who are causing harm to others. I mean, the terms that are used, it's just amazing to me to think that we're supposed to believe that, that we weren't on the right path several years ago, that we were somewhat, in some way, wrong in togetherness and kindness. And oh man, that was a bad go. But the togetherness and kindness and allowing others to be themselves is just destroying our country. It only is if you think the worst about other people. That would be the only time that really one can say that you're against people if you allow them to do whatever they want. Yes, there's always going to be a fraction of human beings who are not going to follow the moral rules, not the laws. That's not what I mean. I'm talking about just moral code. There's going to be a fraction of individuals out there, that are going to not follow those moral rules. Okay? What are we supposed to then hamstring all of us because a little group is not following the rules? And here's what I mean by that. If we are to believe that everybody's lazy right now, and that's the reason why nobody's going back to work, that everybody is just basically living off of the government, and they don't want to go back to work, and because there's a couple things to be said about that. I'm not going to go into huge detail right now. If you want to talk to me off of the side or something, or we want another live and we want to talk about that specifically, that we'll do that. But what I want to talk about right now, if we're to believe that is a judgment call by you. Okay? Now, if they aren't making as much with working as they would be if they were getting paid what the government or the state or whatever considers a livable wage, then that's something to talk about. I mean, that's pretty bad if that's happening. If that person is working and not getting paid a similar wage to what they would if they weren't. I mean, obviously that's amazing. if they're not getting paid a livable wage. And that is happening. So, but let's just take it to the other side and say that there are claims out there that people just don't want to work because they're lazy, and in essence, we are saying also that this group of individuals that we have going right now, this collection of people, whether they're young, old, in the working place or not. Oh yes, that was beautiful. We are saying that, and guess what, Hank? We are saying that they're lazy. Well, again, that is thinking the worst of another human being. Maybe that there is a good group out there that are lazy. Ooh, I tried to come in. Let's see if he got it. Yeah, he got him inside. Okay, good. It may be true. There might be a collection of people where that is the case. But again, there are a lot of different reasons behind people not working right now, not going back to work. Maybe they had a job that they felt was perfect while they were there, and then this last year and some odd change happened, and now they don't feel that way anymore. They shouldn't be compelled to or be required to go back to that. That's a personal choice. Okay, so that's some of the people might have that as a reason. Some people, it might be for health reasons. And if you have a differing opinion about that, you still have to judge that person based on that reason. You can't say, well, that's not a good enough reason, because that's that person's reason. So if that's their reason, it's not because they're lazy. See, you can't call it laziness in that situation, because that is a different reason. There are lazy people. But then this would be a different faction of people who decided not to go back for health reasons. And there are a myriad of reasons for that. Home, like caring for somebody at home, caring for yourself, maybe you were living just on a string before, and now there's a lot of different things that are going on that you have to actually persevere with. You have to add a couple things to your life that you have to do, and now it's a little harder and it's more difficult, and you don't want to have to do that, and you can get paid more. Then it doesn't make any sense. I just get it. For some people, that's not even an option. But I'm just saying, if you're prideful about that and you don't like that as an option, you still can't take that away from that person as a reason for it. Very important to understand. You can not like that option, but you don't just term a person as lazy for deciding not to work during the time that the pandemic was going, now, whenever. You don't just automatically get to go around and just point to somebody and say, you're lazy, you're lazy, you're lazy. That isn't the overarching reason why people haven't gone back to work. It might be some percentage, but it's not the overarching reason, because I could tell you from the individuals that have been around me, there have been a lot of talk of people who were before working, and some people who didn't have a job prior to all this, who are looking for their options, who are picking and choosing a little bit more, because that's actually where we were headed as a workforce anyway. I don't know if you realized it, but there have been a lot of changes in the workplace over the last few years, where it used to be that companies would hold over your head that you don't need, you're lucky you have this job, and stuff like that. Whereas more recently, employees have been more empowered. Employees have been like, well, if you're not going to treat me with respect, then, and this doesn't go for every single place, obviously. If you're in a remote location and you're the only employer there, you could treat your employees any way you want if you're, not a good employer. But in areas where there's more opportunity in jobs, it was already starting to get to the point where if you treated your employees a certain way, that you were going to face some consequences for it. So this pandemic only really just kind of highlighted the fact that for some people, maybe they weren't in the right job for them. Maybe you're not in the right occupation. And they decided not to go back. And that's their right. I am not in that. Luckily, I got out of one of those types of situations well before. And I am going to be talking about that at some point, because I know that my journey in the workforce and in the workplace is one that a lot of people share. And that is a very personal, but definitely one that I must talk about. We're going to take Bumgarner out here. He's scaring me with how slow his pitch is. And I am going to put in, I'm going to try and get this guy's ERA down a little bit. The relief core is definitely not one that I focus on too much. Give me a second here. Okay. All right. Sometimes when the player is not as good defensively, it doesn't really work to. Almost turned it. Not bad for facing him. Joe is the number one hitter on an opposing team in this game, and he is out, and that's the end of the game. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to throw on my the instrumental to my latest song, Warm Place in My Heart. This is the instrumental. I'm going to put this on just one time through while I grab a drink, and I'll come back and I'm going to play. Let's see what time we got. 6:08. I'm going to come back and I'll play probably for another 40 minutes, half hour to 40 minutes. Giants start at 6:45, so we're gonna hop off at that time. But I'm gonna let you listen to some music for a couple minutes, and then I'll be back on, and I'll see you in a bit.